Instead of spending years in court paying lawyers to fight, the more and more they fight, the more and more you spend. Mediation typically goes from 3 to 6 sessions. Some may be a little less, some may be a little more, but instead of spending years in court, you're spending a few months in mediation. The couple share the cost of the mediator. So rather than each of you paying a lawyer, there's one mediator being paid, and their job is to facilitate communication and help clients resolve their issues so they can get through their divorce. Finally, there's no retainer fee with mediation. You pay as you go. So it's a little bit easier financially. At a time when couples are trying to figure out how to afford 2 separate households, this can be very, very important.
Tell me more about how the divorce done right process works.
Well, it starts with contacting us by email, by telephone, through our website. Our website is very informative, so you can start there, read about us, and then contact us right through the site. We'll begin with a brief interview. We can answer any questions our clients have, and once our clients have decided to go forward with the process, we'll put them in touch with one of our mediators that have offices near their home, convenient to them, and they can ask additional questions of the mediator. The mediator will have a few questions that they'll need to get answered in order to get started. Then they'll schedule a session and get going.
Tell me how you choose your mediators.
Our mediators are experienced, licensed divorce lawyers or therapists. Some actually have degrees in both. Our mediators are leaders in the mediation community, well respected by their peers, well known for their passion for helping families resolve their divorce and move on with their life.
Now sum it up for us. Why should a couple consider mediation with divorce done right?
This is a very, very difficult process. Start out with someone whose focus is helping you get through it, whose focus is facilitating resolution and helping a couple benefit from making decisions and moving on. You can avoid out-of-control legal fees. You hire lawyers, you go to court, you can be there for years and paying thousands and thousands of dollars rather than dealing with mediation and focusing on the future. Children benefit when their parents use mediation to preserve their ability to communicate and make decisions for their kids. This is so important. Their kids will benefit the most. Mediation helps them start out by communicating and making decisions. Parties remain in control of their divorce with mediation. Rather than handing over these huge decisions that are so personal and so important to families to judges and lawyers who really don't know what this family needs, mediation keeps the couple in control of their divorce and the decisions that are so important, allows them to work out solutions that fits their situation. And finally, your mediation will occur at one of our many very confidential, very comfortable mediation facilities where we have designed rooms to support this process. It's a whole lot better than reaching solutions in courthouse halls or in courtrooms.
Joining me now are Peter Bort and Mary Beth Blessing, both experienced divorce done right mediators. Welcome, Peter and Mary Beth.
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you for having me.
On the earlier segment, we were talking about taking control of your own divorce and not leaving important decisions for lawyers and judges. How does mediation accomplish this, Peter?
There's a few different levels of control that are lost in the court system. So when we take our dispute to court, we have no control over how long it's going to take to be resolved. With mediation, we know it's going to be resolved through our sessions in a timely fashion. With regard to the cost, litigation can spiral out of control. It's not just the 2 lawyers that are working on the case. There are experts, witnesses, and other people, and there's lost time from work for all those people. With regard to the children, there are relationships that need to be preserved. The court is not set up to preserve those relationships. And what happens is that the adversarial nature of litigation drives wedges into families. And it's not purposeful, but it's an unintended result.
Peter, tell me what the best part of your job is.
Best part of my job is when people that are so stuck and so unable to see the other person's point of view and so feeling frustrated by not having their point of view heard, reach a point where they're starting to hear the other person, they feel like they're being heard, the 2 parties reach a point where, because that's taken place, solutions start to appear. And from a desperate, no end in sight position, 2 people reach the ability to see daylight and to see their way out of what's been a very stuck situation for them.
Peter and Mary Beth, I really like what you and other divorce done Right mediators have had to say about the process allows the couples themselves, rather than lawyers and courts, to make their own decision on what is best for them and their kids. Well, mediation gives couples a chance to communicate, explore options, and develop alternatives. And isn't this better than a contested divorce where the only choices are win-lose, and frankly, even more common is lose-lose? If you, a family member, a friend, are past the point of no return, make a point of getting divorced in a way that's better for you and your family. Mediation is less costly, less time-consuming, and less painful than in a typical divorce with lawyers and judges. Nobody knows more about mediation than the team at Divorce Done Right. Their mediators have the experience, skills, and professional background that you need to end the fight. I urge you to call the number on your screen now. Don't wait, because after all, you and your family have been through, you deserve a clear course of action, which is exactly what you'll get from Divorce Done Right. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So many couples today choose to hire lawyers, then they roll up their sleeves, then they start fighting. Tell me why the two of you chose to mediate with Divorce Done Right. Sally?
Because the traditional litigation process seems to be a win-lose competition, implying that one spouse is at fault. And I wanted to be part of a less emotional, more cooperative process where Bruce and I could best support our children.
And Bruce, why did you decide to go the Divorce Done Right route?
As we started the process, we had a couple of overriding priorities. One was the kids, and to make sure that they were well taken care of through the process, that related to that we conducted ourselves in a real civil and reasonable fashion. And we thought that we could do it with the help of Mary Beth and take care of the kids as well.
Now, do you believe your children have benefited from your decision to mediate with Divorce Done Right? Bruce?
I think the kids have a certain perspective. When I think about the range of as Sally and I look at how it could have ended up on one end of the spectrum or the other, I think the path that we chose was the right one. And I think the kids recognize some of it now. I think that as they get older and mature a little bit, they'll recognize it even more. And I think that we've done the right thing by our children.
I absolutely think that the mediation process helped improve our communication, leading to better decision making. This in turn decreased the emotional tension in the household. And so our children were then able to focus on themselves, their own needs, their own goals, and their own interests.
John, you mentioned earlier in the show you went through your own divorce, you had your own experience with this. Anything you can add to what the Riefenstahls have told us?
Well, the Riefenstahls are the reason I started this company. They have avoided the nightmare that I endured for 2.5 years. They have spared their kids and themselves the incredibly high expense, the pain. They're moving on with their lives in a way that they can drive down to this show together. They spend their holidays with their kids together, that they have created this foundation for their future in a way that their kids can respect. And rather than dealing with and dredging up yesterday and spending thousands of dollars to do that, that they are able to proudly be here today and talk about the decision that took maturity, insight, and vision.
Just listening to each of you talk about mediation, I think sums it up best. A lot of other questions I'd like to ask, but we're running out of time, so I will thank John Ostroff, founder of Divorce Done Right, for his time. Also a thank you to Peter Bort, Mary Beth Blessing, mediators at Divorce Done Right, and a special thanks to the two of you, Bruce and Sally Riefenstahl, who are currently going through mediation with Divorce Done Right.